All right, what's good everybody? It's Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Mandalay Bay here at the south end of the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight I'm going to dinner at Stripsteak by Mina, and I'm so excited to get back into a steakhouse and get my protein on. Let's go. All right guys, so we just got seated here at Stripsteak. Now I gotta say, right when I was walking in, I really love the ambiance of this place. It's contemporary, it's upscale and modern. It's not dark and dilapidated like a lot of other steakhouses, and that's what I kind of prefer. I like well-lit spaces. Now I gotta say, one of the other things I loved about walking in here was the instant smell of delicious grilling meats. I'm salivating already. So first thing, let me give you guys a quick look at the menu. Now, I'm not much of a drinker, mostly a social drinker. If someone's drinking, I say, so shall I. And so my cocktail of choice today was an old fashioned. It was $20. It's got bourbon, sugar, water, bitters, and served short with a strip steak rock. And here is the old fashioned. This is looking pretty great. Cheers, everybody, to kick things off. This is good. All right, so taking a quick look at the menu here. Now, right off the bat, the first thing that caught me and my friend's eye is the caviar Twinkie. We're gonna get that for sure. Lots of seafood options here, looking really good. Now we have salads as well. Pretty standard looking salads. Now, our waiter told us that the instant bacon is one of their hits. So we made sure to get that also. So we've got that instant bacon coming as well as that caviar Twinkie. Really looking forward to that. And now when it comes to entrees, you've got a lot of non-steak options up here. That drunken whole lobster, I'm not gonna lie, that did catch my eye a little bit earlier, but I'm here for steak, so it's steak time. Here we have the steak options. My friend got the Wagyu rib cap, which just sounds amazing. The rib cap is obviously the most flavorful portion of any steak. It's gonna be so good. And I got a standard cowboy ribeye. I love ribeye steaks. I think they're always marbled perfectly and really good at steakhouses. So I'm really looking forward to eating that. I was also considering this 40-ounce tomahawk, but you know, I think the ribeye and the Wagyu rib cap are gonna be plenty. Lots of seafood options here. Market priced Alaskan king crab along with some salmon and ahi tuna. And lots of accompaniments. We both opted for the truffle marrow butter, but I can definitely see myself going for that wasabi, horsey, creme fraiche, maybe even their trio of sauces if I was looking for some variety. And that butter poached half lobster, foie gras, oh, that was all sounding so good, but you know, maybe I should not go super crazy today. And along with the side dishes, plenty of potato options. We went with the lobster and mashed potatoes. And when it comes to the original stuff, we got asparagus with that yuzu butter and togarashi. And I also got that spicy fried rice with pork belly because I feel like eating like a maniac today. So this is actually my first time back in a steakhouse since the 2020 pandemic, and I am so excited to be here. I've cooked a lot of steaks at home, but you know, they're just never gonna measure up to a true restaurant quality steak. Although when it comes to super fancy foods, I think steak is the option that you can actually come closest to restaurant quality, but there's just gonna be all those little extra steps that's gonna make the restaurant's versions just so much better. Now, firstly, most of these fancy steakhouses will dry age their meats. They're gonna be taking a lot of the moisture out, letting the beef flavor intensify, letting those lipids break down for a more tender bite. Not a lot of home chefs are gonna do that, and so that's why I love coming to these steakhouses to really get that extra bit of quality when it comes to my beef. Now, secondly, the reason I love coming to steakhouses or any fancy meals is just because, you know, I'm usually kind of a lazy bum at home. I wear really oversized, comfortable shirts all day long, and sometimes it's really nice to put on something a little more business casual and go out for a really nice dinner. Typically, I like to do that once a month, so I'll be taking you guys along with me from here on out. And now, another thing I love about fancy steakhouses is that they do not skimp on service. They just came out and provided us complimentary duck fat fries. They gave you a small little sampler of fries here. They look super crispy. They're piping hot. And there's some kind of aioli at the bottom. I'm so excited to try this. Oh yeah, super crispy on the outside, nice and fluffy on the inside. This garlic aioli, so good. I love how steakhouses always offer you some kind of carbs in the beginning, and deep fried carbs is always better. Now our appetizers just got here. Let me show you this amazing looking caviar Twinkie. Nice little corn cake there. It's got creme fraiche and that nice looking caviar. I hope it's salty and delicious. This is looking so good. All right, and here we have their famed appetizer, the instant bacon. It's got that nice tempura oyster on top. We got some sliced up daikon and a soy glaze. This looks amazing. This caviar Twinkie looks so good. Absolutely spectacular. It melts in your mouth. The cornmeal is actually a really nice complement to the saltiness of the caviar. That creme fraiche gives a nice light balance to everything. I wish there was so much more of this. I would just eat this by the truckload. All right, next up to taste is this instant bacon that they had going on. It feels super tender to cut through, and you can just see the juices pouring out. This is gonna be an amazing bite. I can already tell. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that's so good. Pork is super fatty, super tender, and the crunch from the daikon gives a nice texture. The soy glaze on this is really smooth. It's not overpowering at all. Such a perfect complement, and there's just a hint of smokiness to it too. It's so good. I can see why it's their signature appetizer. All right, guys, so our entrees and sides just arrived, and I gotta tell you, this spread looks amazing. My ribeye steak, it's at least an inch thick, nice truffle butter on top. You can see all the fat just glistening off of it. This looks amazing. We got some asparagus here, nicely grilled. And this asparagus has a yuzu butter as well as togarashi, so this should have a hint of sweetness as well. I'm really looking forward to this. I bet it's gonna complement the steak perfectly. We have a lobster mashed potato here. You can see the chunks of lobster. You can see the color of the mashed potatoes has taken up all that lobster juice. This is probably gonna be spectacular. Last side here is this pork belly fried rice. Lots of aromatics on top. This looks like a great complement to the steak as well. And here is my friend's Wagyu rib cap. I bet this is such an amazing cut of beef. We've taken too many pictures. Both of us are salivating like crazy. I can't hold back any longer. I'm diving right into the steak. It is cutting so easy. It's so tender. That looks like a nice medium rare plus to me. All right, nothing to it but to do it. Let's take this first bite. The steak is cooked absolutely perfectly. You can see how little gray there is on the edges. That's how you know that they had a piping hot surface. Temperature in the center is perfect. It's super juicy, super tender. I'm in for a great dinner. Now, obviously, the steak is the star, but these sides are looking so good right now. And the first thing I'm gonna go in on are these lobster mashed potatoes. I gotta say, just scooping these onto my plate was a dream. They're so light, so airy, so smooth. Let's see how it tastes. That's not even fair. Mashed potatoes on their own, when done right, already delicious. Put lobster into the mix and you've got something truly special. This could be the star of the show on its own. I'm gonna follow that up with going in on this asparagus. Now, when I picked them up, they had a lot of great texture to them, which means they're not overcooked, but soft enough so that you know they're cooked through. All right, let's try the asparagus. Yeah, those are really good. Now, the yuzu is more of an afternote. It's not super strong up front, but it is a delicious afternote after you finish chewing through this asparagus. This is really good. All right, let me bite in on this last side that we have here. This is the pork fried rice. I mean, right off the bat, you see all the big chunks of pork in this fried rice. And you can see just all that oil glistening off. You can tell that this fried rice had a lot of care put into it. Let's give it a taste. That's a good fried rice. You taste the allspice, taste the five spice. Rice is well cooked, well fried. Only thing I'm gonna say is I don't know if it complements this meal very much. It's a very distinct flavor on its own, but as a fried rice, totally delicious. This is totally the meal I've been waiting for all pandemic. I love steakhouses. I'm coming back every month for a new one. All right, now real quick, I'm gonna steal a small sliver of that Wagyu rib cap from my friend. I got a nice little slice of this Wagyu rib cap here. You can just see all that fat glistening off the top. Perfectly cooked. A little bit of that truffle butter. I bet this is amazing. The phrase melt in your mouth does not do this justice. It disintegrates. Absolutely just gone. It's meat butter. It's Wagyu rib cap for a reason, guys. It was so good. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut up for a while because it is time to grub super hard. All right, guys, that meal was fantastic, but it is time to activate the dessert stomach. Let's get it. Taking a quick look at the dessert menu, looks like their warm beignet trio is really popular. They have s'mores, a tart, cheesecake, as well as a 24-karat gold dark chocolate molten cake sundae. All of those desserts actually look pretty good, but I think I'm gonna be going in on the best cheesecake. All right, guys, and dessert just got here. I gotta tell you, this cheesecake and this tart looks absolutely phenomenal. They dressed the tart here at the table with a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream as well as a caramel sauce drizzled on the top. This looks spectacular. And then on my end, I got a nice Bass cheesecake, caramel sauce, a little sesame seed crumble on the top. This looks so good. Let's see how it tastes. Heaven on earth. The cream cheese is just so smooth. It's so airy. That caramel adds just such a nice sweetness. This is a phenomenal cheesecake. Now, accompanying this cheesecake is a bit of a spiced pear as well as some thinly sliced apples. Just giving an additional component to this dish. That pear is magic. The caramel, the pear, the apple, all of those, such a perfect complement to this cheesecake. I can't get enough of this. All right, now I'm gonna try and steal a bit of my friend's dessert. This is a banana cream tart. See how it tastes. That is so good. There's a nice smokiness to the cook as well. The vanilla ice cream on top is such a great, smooth, cool balance to the rest of the flavors. The desserts here have been so good. Okay, guys, and that does it for me here at Stripsteak. This meal was phenomenal. I'm so glad I came here as the first steakhouse back from the pandemic. My ribeye was delicious. That Wagyu rib cap was out of this world, so good. Of the sides, the lobster mash was absolutely phenomenal. And both of the desserts that I tried here have been out of bounds good. Now, if you enjoyed yourself watching this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and comment below what are some other steakhouses that you like to visit here in Las Vegas. Now, if you're looking for more food reviews and other Las Vegas content, I've got a ton more of that coming up this year, so please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And that's all for this video. Have a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed Vegas with me. Shin. Bye.